The preoperational stage, 2 to 6 years. Now we enter the preschool years and Piaget's second period of cognitive development, the preoperational stage. In the preoperational stage, children begin to represent the world with words, images, and drawings. They can do a lot more things mentally now, which we'll discuss in the 2 substages, but they cannot yet perform operations. Operations are reversible mental actions that allow children to do mentally what they previously could only do physically. For example, you can't just say, if 3 plus 2 equals 5, then what is 5 minus 2? They can't do that yet. They can't reverse that process in their head. They need you to put 3 of something in front of them, and then put 2 more of something in front of them, and count them all up. Then they need you to physically take away 2 of those things and count to see that it's back to 3 again. That's why manipulatives are an essential tool for any preschool or kindergarten classroom. Between the ages of 2 and 4, children enter the symbolic function substage. They gain the ability to mentally represent an object that is not present. They'll scribble designs representing people, houses, cars, etc., and begin to use language and pretend play. They'll pretend to be a mom taking care of a baby, or pretend to be a dog barking at their playmates. There are a couple of interesting little quirks of this substage. One is egocentrism. Egocentrism is an inability to tell the difference between what they can perceive and what others can perceive. That's why preschoolers are terrible at hide and seek. They think that if they can't see you, then you can't see them. So they'll hide by covering their eyes or putting a blanket over their head. It's adorable. Another quirk of this stage is animism, which is a belief that inanimate objects have lifelike qualities that are capable of action. They'll put a blanket on their stuffed animal so that they don't get cold at night. And they will absolutely 100% believe that the elf on the shelf is capable of moving around on its own. In the intuitive thought substage, the child uses primitive reasoning and wants to know the answers to all sorts of questions. Why questions signal the emergence of interest in figuring out why things are the way that they are. Why do you leave every day? I'm going to work. Why? So I can pay the bills. Why? So we don't get kicked out. Why? You get the idea. This substage is called intuitive because young children seem unaware of how they know what they know. They know a lot of facts, but they don't quite grasp the logic behind it, so they ask a lot of questions. A major barrier to logical thinking for children in this age range is centration. Centration is focusing of attention on one characteristic to the exclusion of all others. If you pour equal amounts of water into 2 short, wide cups and ask a preoperational child, do they have the same amount of water or does one of them have more? The child will look at the level of the water and correctly conclude that they have the same amount of water. But then if you take one of the glasses and transfer it into a taller, skinnier glass right in front of them and ask, okay, now, do they have the same amount of water or does one of them have more? The child will say that the tall, skinny glass has more. This is because they are centering on the level of the water. They are focusing on one characteristic, the height of the water, to the exclusion of all others, i.e. the shape of the glass. Because of centration, preoperational children do not understand conservation. Conservation is awareness that altering the appearance of an object or substance does not change its basic properties. They won't master that concept until the next stage. Oops. The water example was an example of conservation of volume, but you can do the task with other characteristics too. For example, if you give a preoperational child a slice of pizza and they complain that they want 2 slices, well, you can cut their slice of pizza in half down the center and say, there, now you have 2 slices, and they'll be perfectly satisfied. They're centering on the number of slices, not the shape. When I didn't want to share my fries with my kids when they were little, I would give myself 2 fries and then break a fry in half and give the other one, the kid 2 fries, quote unquote 2 fries. Then I'd give myself 2 fries, then break a fry in half and give them, quote unquote 2 fries. That way we shared it fairly as far as they were concerned, and I got to keep a lot more of my fries. It was glorious. And sorry, my kids can hear me while I'm recording this, so they're giving me this look like, what? There's a reason why first grade begins when it begins.